Hey, what's up? What's going on? Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video to be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart. So it's Mary Jane, and let's talk about what's going on with Kanye West. And basically, Kanye West, he is really trending. Him and Charlemagne basically are trending with this interview with Charlemagne and Kanye West. What are your takes? What are your thoughts on the interview? How did you leave into watching the interview? How did you leave? Did you think that, okay, Kanye West answered a lot of questions, that now you can understand him more and you feel where he's coming from and you feel, what he's all about? Or do you think this is, just something to actually get him to, sell albums? But why does he need to sell albums when he says, his shoe company is like $1 billion company now? Like, he has $1 billion basically with the Yeezys or whatever. And, Kanye West didn't really he wanted to really separate race from the conversation, but he couldn't separate race from the conversation because he had to keep bringing up race and the things that he went through as being an artist, being in the music business, trying to get into the fashion world, and how, they tried to push him away, how, like they wouldn't give him deals, he wouldn't get royalty checks, but then he had to go out there and create his own. He had to go out there and, and mess with other people, mess with different people to try to get to where he wanted to get, because he was being blocked, but they wouldn't allow him. He kept saying they wouldn't allow him. So how can he separate race from anything that he talks about when everything with him that he talked about had to do with race, other than him talking about, Jay-Z? So it's just like, so first, Kanye West really starts off saying that, people, the Taylor Swift moment was really like a really breakdown for him, or an awakening for him, that he really felt some type of way about that situation. He thought that actually he was doing something good. He was actually doing something genuine, because he wasn't doing it just for Beyonce, but he was doing it for everybody that's been robbed, everybody that's been, to the award shows and they don't get, their award, they don't get their just due. So that's what he felt like he was doing. It wasn't just about Beyonce, but then we also know that he was drunk too as well. He had the Hennessy bottle. So then, he talks about therapy. Kanye West talks about him going to therapy and seeking out therapy, but he doesn't go to seek therapy. Basically, he seeks therapy through friends, through, strangers. Hey, Apple Love, how you doing? Long time no see. I hope everything's good. How's your mom? How's the family? So, Kanye West is it just seems like, he hasn't really secured the real help that he wants and he wants to seek. Like, what else do Kanye West wants? Do he want to be the next Louis Vuitton? Do he want to be, Versace? Of course he does. Does he want to be Polo? Of course he does. But he's not being allowed in. And he was also saying that when he kept his mouth closed, things was good for him. But once he opened his mouth, things went bad for him. So especially when he was talking about, when he did his fashion show and he was 45 minutes late. And you guys remember all the pictures they were showing like the models fainting. There was no water. There was no this. And they was like, that was, the fashion world actually saying to him that you're not allowed in this world. We'll let you in this world. But it was basically calling him the N-word without really calling him the N-word, or getting back at him. But why would they get back at him? Is it because he is a African-American male, even though he wants to separate himself from being an indigenous male, a male with melanin? Because you also see when he goes on TMZ, he does the same thing as well. So he can't separate the two. He can't say, no, it's not about race, but then the next minute say it is about race, and say this is what the industry has done to him, but say it's not about race, because the same way that they tried to block you, they block millions and millions of other people from even entering or even getting a platform, period, point blank. And so it is what it is with that situation. So then he also talks about, using his energy, basically using the energy of people around him, basically going to counseling, from not really seeking counseling, but talking to people around him and asking them for advice, or being on the phone with them for hours and answering his questions. So basically Kanye West goes around and he dumps his energy, or he dumps his, fecal matter on people, but in return he doesn't hear what they're saying as well, because he just wants to get out what he has to say, which what he said makes him a true narcissist. That's what he said. So anyways, he talks about using Twitter as an expression, as a place to release his thoughts and things like that. So, but this was before he did the Donald Trump and all that other good stuff, tweets or whatever. So he was talking about, you know, him having a breakdown, him having a mental breakdown, but him also having a breakthrough and him recovering, seeing the light, basically. And he also says that when people say, oh, he's a rapper, Kanye the rapper, or the rapper, we're going to introduce this rapper, he feels like when you say rapper, you're taking away from what that person is as an artist. And he was like, when you say rapper, it's also trying to, you know, downgrade and trying to belittle that person, just putting them as a rapper. But why do you feel being named as a rapper if you are a rapper, but you are an artist, but you're in a category? So Kanye West don't want to be in a category, and he doesn't want to be called a rapper too as well, because he feels like that's the media trying to, you know, call you the N-word without really calling you the N-word. So, you know, but at one point in time, being a rapper was what popular. So I guess he's saying being an artist, a musician, but it still reverts back to race when he kept saying in the interview he wanted to separate from race. And then even when he went on to TMZ, hey Ann M, how you doing? Talking about Kanye West. I don't know if you've seen Kanye West interview with Charlemagne that's on YouTube, but just going through it, it's just like, come on. And then if you've seen Charlemagne on, I'm not Charlemagne, but if you've seen Kanye West on TMZ, he went in about slavery. I was like, damn, Kanye West, you know, like in his interview with Charlemagne, you can kind of see, but you know, like, okay, if you really wanted to continue to support Kanye West, you can see, okay, yeah, I see where he's coming from. But then now today he goes over there to TMZ and says that slavery was a choice. I'm like, yo, and he didn't seem as calm and mentally stable as he was when he was with Charlemagne the God. I don't know what happened over there at TMZ. Oh, it was just like, because he didn't really answer any questions. But he kept saying he wanted to separate race, but everything that he reverted back to had to do with race. And what else did he go through? Then he also talks about, you know, forgetting where he came from, forgetting who he was, because everybody around him thought that he was Jay. So he didn't know who he was because of all the yes people, but he surrounded himself around the people, no matter people that he wanted around him. But basically, since they see him as Kanye West, he couldn't identify who he was, because they put him on a platform as a messiah. Changed. I feel like his mess need to be re-upped or changed. On TMZ, it was like, did you see him on TMZ talking about, you know, slavery is a choice? Like, dude, come on, slavery is a choice. Like it was a choice for 400 years. I'm just like, but yeah, he wants to separate race from everything, but yet he continues to seek out race as an issue. So I was just like, yeah, I don't know what's going on with Kanye West. So basically, he was saying the people that are surrounded, he has so much money, he lost touch with real everyday people. Yes, but he tries to tell us in that interview that he goes to talk to everyday people. You know, like he'll just do interviews, he'll just talk to people off the street and things like that. Like, who believes that? But maybe he does, who knows? But yeah, he has so much money and he has isolated himself around, you know, the Kardashian clan and the clan that he wants around him. And basically in the interview, he always talks about being validated by the people and the industry, the fashion world, the music industry. Like, if they had to co-sign, it was like so wonderful for him to say all these big names and everything about all these wonderful people that he feels that are wonderful, that are in Hollywood, that are in, you know, the professional world, the business world, that can actually help him out. Them people are great to him. So I don't think he wants to relate to everyday people, because he never wants to be back where he was before. Not to say that he will ever go that way, but he's a total changed person. And, you know, he is different for him now. Like, and he tries to, you know, get people to believe that he's being authentic, because you can't tell if he's being authentic, because he surrounded himself about people that is nothing but attention seeking. So one minute, you know, like a couple of years ago, Kanye West would go back and forth. He don't want the media following him. He would hit the cameras or whatever. And he was upset with TMZ. But yet now TMZ gave him some praise yesterday, and Kanye, or today, earlier today or yesterday, and he kept retweeting, you know, TMZ. And then now he's on TMZ because Harvey was giving him props. And then he gets there and he acts a fool. So like he sets his, at least with you know, the Charlemagne the God interview, he wasn't put out there to look bad. But when he went to TMZ, what did he do? He looked bad because he was conforming for the masses, because maybe he done said some real shit with his interview with, you know, Charlemagne the God. And some people think that he did say some real stuff as far as like secret messages, secret codes. Yes, there's secret messages or secret codes. The codes is to keep a black person out, keep a black person from economics, property, buying things. You know, Black Wall Street is going to disappear, or investing in stocks. Because basically you can't focus on that, because you're focused on your 9-to-5 job and trying to keep that. That TMZ interview was no good. No, it wasn't. He went ham. I was just like, when he just went there, then he talked about his, you know, it's okay for him to be honest about him being on these drugs or whatever. So now you don't know what Kanye West, what he said, instead of taking, you know, the hospital gave him 7 drugs, you know, when he was only taking 2 drugs a day, basically opiates and things like that. And so now when he went to the hospital, he got all these other drugs, and he was told that these drugs are going to kill his, you know, creativity, is going to kill his geniuses. But him being a genius, it's just like, it was a lot going on. So then we get to, well, he says that he hasn't been trained and he's not media savvy and all this other stuff. He is savvy, because how do you trend for like almost a whole week? Like he's doing it. And on top of that, everybody's having conversations about Kanye West. And first he introduced it with, you know, the Trump situation and Make America Great Again and all this other stuff, going back and forth with, you know, Donald Trump and with Candace Owens and that idiocracy and that dumb idea. And so then from there, he released the interview with Charlemagne, basically trying to smooth the ridges. And then boom, he jumps onto TMZ and he goes ham talking about slavery was a choice. Like slavery was never a choice. So, but then we get on to the other part when he speaks on, like, he hasn't been around. He hasn't been saying nothing for a year. He was trying to grow. He said he hasn't been trained, but he's around the most trained media people ever. And that's Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner. Like, he's around them. So when he says that he's not training, he don't know what he doesn't know the effect that he might get when he says certain things. But I think one of the things that he does identify what, you say, all that shit has messed up his brain chemistry, and the conversation that surrounded him right now is not good. Yeah, he went there on TMZ. Like, I was like, damn. And it's like what he identifies with Donald Trump with is like, he identified how Donald Trump just came and took the White House and said whatever he wanted to do, did whatever he said, did whatever he wanted to do, say whatever he said, and he got the White House. And so that's why Kanye West says he identifies with him. But it seems like Kanye West wants to leave that legacy behind, and he wants to leave that generational wealth behind, and he wants to be like, you know, Prada, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, like so many other designers that do that are melanin. But he realized the way that he can get into that market and tap into that market is to tap into Donald Trump's people, tap into Donald Trump's mindset of people that follow Donald Trump. So if he can get the same people that follow Donald Trump and put him in office, if he can get them behind him, then his legacy will live on and he can come with the big companies. So basically, he's assimilating to his surroundings of, okay, this is what works. Okay, I love my brothers and my sisters. I did at one point in time, but we ain't gonna make it out this together. So I gotta make it. And I see one of the ways I can make it as people put Donald Trump in office with his ideology, the way he thinks. So you know what? Maybe these same people invest in my shoes, invest in my clothes, give me a clothing line that I can, like he said, they allowed him now to have factories. He can build factories, but before he couldn't build factories. He didn't have factories and he couldn't do this and he was locked out. But now he's allowed to because he has assimilated and followed along with the plan is to take that I hate Bush statement to I love Trump now. in my opinion. Then he talks about Jay-Z, and he talks about, Jay-Z not coming to his wedding, but he never talked to Jay-Z about that personally. He just heard stories here and there. He doesn't know why Jay-Z didn't attend his wedding and all this other stuff, not being able to protect Kim Kardashian. And then he talks about, I'm one of the most popular, greatest entertainers in the world, and I don't even have security. He thinks that spouting off the crazy rhetoric thoughts makes him a free thinker. It doesn't. It just makes him seem off his rocker. He's definitely off his rocker, because then he talks, how many people are gonna co-sign $20 million? So basically he talks about the situation with Jay-Z, but it was from Live Nation that actually gave him the $20 million to help him with touring and things like that, to put money in his pocket because he did have debt. And he talks about him tweeting out his debt because people couldn't use that against him. And so he was like, it should have been a conversation. He should have known that Jay had to sign off on it. Him and Jay didn't talk, but they cool, whatever. So it is what it is. I don't think, even though Kanye West says that he respects Jay-Z, but he doesn't respect him, I think, that much at all, because he just doesn't. Because he feels like, I think Jay-Z should have done more for him. I don't know what else more that he should have done for him, because Jay-Z, he has a little bit of a clothing line, but it's not all that big or whatever. But it is what it is with that situation. But he felt like, Charlemagne, the God asked him, do you think that you took it too far when you talked about Jay's family? And he goes, no, because we were supposed to be family. So then a family talking about family, then what's the big deal, Then he also says that, but if we're business partners and I talk about your family, then it's a big deal. So he basically double talking the situation. But he doesn't know how, Beyonce or Jay-Z feels about him and his wife. That's what he says, but he knows the deep, dark truth or whatever. And, what else did he say? He said something about, supporting, supporting Trump is kind of like the winning team. Like he said he was going to be president, and he became president, and believing in himself and all this other stuff. So I guess that's where, Kanye West falls into, where he idolized Donald Trump. And then he also talks about, Harriet Tubman and slavery. And it was just like, he did have a point. Kanye did have a point when he said, like, they keep that, how come they didn't put, Michael Jordan on a $20 bill? I don't think they should put Michael Jordan on a $20 bill. But, he is a legacy with, the Bulls and being the greatest basketball player to ever live. But most of his investments in the prison system. So, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, the point that Kanye was making was like, they keep reminding of us as being slaves, because sometimes we need to know who we are so we can get to where we're going. But I get that, where you don't want to, every time you turn around, you hear something or you see anything about your past or your ancestors, it's all about, you as a slave. Show us about the things that we built. Show us about our historians. Show us, more than just being a slave and just being, docile and picking cotton and all that other stuff. Show us our real true found history, when we built the pyramids, when we structured, railroads and created this and created blood plasma, created so much stuff that you're using now today, security systems, everything. Show us that instead of showing us the slave. But then that's when, Charlemagne the God pointed out that, Harriet Tubman was also a revolutionary. She's almost like Kanye West, speaking her mind, fighting, killing, saving her people. But Kanye West ain't doing that. He's thinking about himself and what he leaves behind for himself and his kids. And basically, he wants to be accepted. He only became president by pitting our countries against each other. Yes. And I think Kanye West likes the idea of how he became president, how he used the system to navigate it, especially working along with Facebook, getting all the data and information, where people would do all types of, surveys, and it will switch over to your friends, that friend, all different little surveys they used to do, and personality checks and things like that Cambridge College did. And then they would use that as political. So I think that's what Kanye likes the most. Why would you want to support a man who white supremacy? Why would you want to support a man who blacks white supremacy? Who backs white supremacy? I didn't get that. I'm just thinking about black. I'm just thinking about my color. I'm just thinking about being black. because then he can have his factories. Then that 300 acres that he has on his property, now he can build his community. He can build this, he can build that. They'll leave him alone. That's what he believes. And he's seeing that, you know, when I came out and I spoke against Bush, I spoke against Taylor Swift, all the backlash. And I even had, you know, President Obama come at me and call me an asshole when, you know, Kanye West did explain that President Obama came to his house and met with his mother before he ran for president. And, you know, one of his opponents said he was his favorite artist, but then, you know, President Obama turned around and shitted on him. So I think Kanye West in his own mind is thinking, in order for him to win and succeed, he has to concede to the dominant society to win to what he wants. And he has. And he's out of touch with everything. But it was created for him to be out of touch from everything, because then his message is no longer as powerful as it used to be 4 or 5 years ago. His messages now fall on deaf ears, or people that really just need a leader or a follower. When I idolize somebody, will follow Kanye West. But now the true revolutionaries, the true people with true mind, true thought, will walk away from Kanye West. Because just like the example I was saying before, like, okay, just because I eat chicken today and then tomorrow and then the next day I'm a cannibalist. So do you agree with me, just because I eat chicken, that, you know, you forget the fact that I'm a cannibalist? Like, I eat people, I'll eat you. And that's what Kanye West is forgetting about, you know, Trump and the message that he's sending that if you wasn't where you at, Kanye West, you will probably be a victim of the Chicago shooting and killing and murder, where a cop will get away with taking your life, and Donald Trump will be like, oh, that kid deserved to die. Just like Donald Trump said about, you know, what's his name? Colin Kaepernick. Oh, they all should be fired, whoever kneel down. It's not because they're kneeling to disrespect the veterans or the military. They're kneeling for the injustice of these cops killing African Americans over and over and over, and the injustice of the school systems, the neighborhood, everything. That's what they're taking the kneel down for people that can't speak up for themselves, to send a message so the whole America can get the message. Kanye West is sending a message for himself. He wants to be a part of the greatness of being, you know, Louis Vuitton, Versace, Ralph Lauren, Polo. He wants to be in that category, and he doesn't want to be blocked anymore. And he was blocked when he had a conscious and sound mind, but now he conforms. He got himself the Caucasian wife, and now he's spewing, you know, Donald Trump's rhetoric and acting like he supports him, whether he does or not. And then only talking about, okay, let's not talk about race, let's just talk about love, when race comes down to everything. And so now he's conforming and he's changing. So now he could be accepted to have the things he wants. Now his Yeezys, you know, are a billion dollar company. Why do he need to identify with anybody that is of melanin, anybody of African descent, African American descent anymore? He has been accepted. But so why are you coming out here letting us know that you support Trump? Like, why do we need to know that? You are on a whole different playing field. Do your thing. But it's important that you did show us this side. But this is how you can get brainwashed really quick and really easy, when you put money and property and you put all the materialistic things that you put on everything. Then he tried to take it back and say, oh, time is really money. Being with my family is really money. No, if that was the case, you wouldn't be the way that you are, Kanye West. It seems like who are you trying to please? You're trying to please popular society, but you already got your $1 billion company. So what is it? Is it because you want the property? You want to be able to have your own community? It's just like, he was all over the place with the interview, and he wasn't really answering direct questions at all. It was just like, what are you saying? Like, it's like we're listening to ramblings, which people are saying that is genius. We all know the system is against us. We all know they cut us out. If we talk about the hair industry, who's in charge of the hair industry? It's not African Americans, but who wear mostly weave? African Americans, melanin people. But if we try to get inside, there's so many different weave companies of African American women and males to try to get inside that community, and they've been blocked off, but they won't let them have factories, or they do everything to isolate so they can't get into community. So now, luckily, with Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and all this other stuff, people are able to just sell their products. But we know it's hard. But what are you doing to make it different? All you're saying is you want to be accepted by these people, and race doesn't matter. Race does matter. So it is what it is. Love is not going to protect you when someone's at your door trying to take what you have. Love is not going to help you when you go for a job interview. You need this job, and they turn you down because not because you're not qualified, but they turn you down because of your melanin. They turn you down because of who you are. Or when you want to buy property, say if you want to buy property, you want to get out and you want to grow generational wealth, and you're turned down because of who you are, not because you don't got the money, not because you don't got the credit. And I talked about this a lot in my past videos, but you're turned down because you are an indigenous person. You are an African-American person. So when he says race is not the issue, love, he can say that shit now because right now it's money, but everything that he owns is all materialistic. When he dies, it's not going to come with him. So, but basically he just wants to keep the generational wealth going on for his kids. And that's what my conclusions, a lot from it. And then him getting, he could have named so many other people that was just, what was his thing? Property and being brave. He said he's being brave. He was brave when he said Bush hate black people, and he did that on a huge platform. And it was at a time where everybody was like, "Yo, what's going on over there in Louisiana?" Like you had other countries ready talking about the United States needs us. We're gonna come there and help us. But him being brave because he's supporting Donald Trump rhetoric, because he's talking about make America great again, or make America great again. America's never really been great for African American people or indigenous people or Native American people. It's never been great for us because it's never been great for us. So and he thinks that, then he talks about his breakdown on his breakthrough. And he was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm losing, black people. I didn't want the black people to see me in the hospital. Then he goes, I love the black people in the hospital. They're like my family. There was like my love. There was like everything for me. But then again, I thought it's not about race. Why couldn't they just be people, Kanye West? If your whole message is not about race anymore, why are you identifying these people as black people, as my family, as a tribe, as a community, as all this other stuff, when you say none of that matters? It's all about love. I'm just like, the interview is just like, and so, he talks about, the Dave Chappelle, split. But then he goes into Obama. He was really upset with Obama dissing him and putting him down and basically and all this other stuff. And, that really hurt him. So, we see some of this stuff is just for an advantage, just to get, attention. Is just like, damn, he got like 29 million people following him. If niggas believe what this dude is saying, is just like crazy. It's crazy. It's just really crazy. It's really, really crazy. Like what did they turn this man into? Like, this man is not, he talks about that, he's humble, he's this and that. He's talking about institutions, building, but he also explains that, people, backstabbed him, took his idea, people that he came up with, so you can understand what he says he doesn't trust people because his mother died, he doesn't have anybody else, he doesn't trust people. And then on top of that, he has so many different people betray him in the industry, but so many, I can go through anybody that subscribe or come through my channel they can tell you that their mother passed away. They can tell you they've been betrayed. They can tell you this and that, but they're still not going to get on a public platform and coon it out with Donald Trump. And they're still not going to get on TMZ and coon it out and talk about slavery as a choice. It was just like, what did he say? Here it goes. When you hear about slave for 400 years, 400 years, that sounds like a choice. West said, you was there for 400 years, he added, seemingly in disbelief, and it's all of y'all. You'll never hear a Jewish person, hey, what's up, Libby? I hope I said it right. Hey, what's up? Checking in. Hey, what's good? Talking about Kanye West. Did you see Kanye West's interview? There's two of them. One on YouTube with, with, you know, Charlemagne and the one on Instagram. I'm just like, damn, but when he was on TMZ, it just seems like he was back to the erratic. I don't know. He just seemed like a whole different person. He didn't, but you know, they say Gemini has two different, you know, personalities, but he was talking about, it was just like, damn, like, no, I have to look. Yeah, you're gonna have you first check. You can, the long one that I watched that I just went over was Kanye West and Charlemagne. Is really long. Really, it's like an hour and 45 minutes. The one on, you know, TMZ is on. They're both like 3 to 2 minute clips. It's just like, damn. Kanye West went in. It's like he went in. It's just, I don't know. It just seems like it's not him. It seems like it's so confusing to even try to figure it out, because is it even worth figuring out? Is it even worth caring about? What is worth caring about is the people that allow you on Gemini too. But so you got two brains. So one day you can be straight and clear, and it's the next day where you can be just all erratic, because that's how it was. The interview with Charlemagne and Kanye West was like a week ago, I believe, and they released it today. And then the interview with, you know, TMZ was actually today. But it was just crazy. Well, we'll see what Kanye West says. He wants to start schools. He wants to start that. But basically, he threw the shots at Obama because Obama didn't do nothing for Chicago. So now Kanye West wants to do something for Chicago, and he talks about you know, white people, their institution, and them turning their back on him and all this other stuff, and actually being validated by these big corporations and these big businesses. But it seemed like he had no validation for himself. It seemed like he had no self-awareness. It seems like he let all his personal issues affect all his trains of thought, where he couldn't see outside the box of what he was putting out there that can be strewed as someone that's erratic. But not erratic in the way that he's crazy or he's insane. He's not. But he has let everything change him into a person that he don't even know who he is, unless somebody validates him and tell him who he is. Then he knows who he is. And that's not the old Kanye West. That's not the new Kanye West, because the Kanye West we know or we see is someone that knows how to communicate with people and knows what he's saying and knows what he's doing. And it just seems like it's not calculating. I don't think his situation is calculating. I don't even think it's for attention anymore. I don't know what it is for. I don't know what's going on with this dude, but it's crazy. It's just like you see a mind being destroyed over time because of being in that industry and being in that lifestyle and being removed from the world, being removed from realness. It seems like, you know, being removed from every day. That goes back to Ann, what you said, Ann. What did you say, Ann? You said something. Oh, he has made so much money. He has lost touch with real everyday people. And that's perfect. But he has lost touch with himself. And would we, like say if we all had $1 billion company, and we had a platform with 29 million people following every word that we said, will we lose touch who we are? And is it easy to lose touch when you have to conform to certain things so you can keep that ego going? Like, you know, people talking about him, whether it's negative or positive, it feeds his ego, it feeds the conversation, it feeds everything. But only thing that I believe that would hurt Kanye West if there was no discussion about Kanye West. He also did say he lost his confidence. He lost this, he lost that. But he wants to build factories. And he said he can't be managed. He can't be managed. So a lot of people can't be managed, but I don't know. Now we go to the interview with TMZ. Now that shit look crazy. That, I mean, like it seemed like, or was that erratic behavior that we seen on TMZ, was that the real Kanye West? And was, the subdued Kanye West was where, Charlemagne the God? And Trump would love to hear, Kanye West say that we chose slavery for 400 years. Like, it sounds like a personal choice. I was like, damn. Let's just blame Kim and laugh out loud. That's true. I was just like, but if you can get through the interview, it's a long interview. Some people think the interview is great. Some people think, Charlemagne, didn't go as hard as he could on Kanye West. And it seems like that he was going with kitty gloves. I don't know, but it was weird, and it wasn't interesting. It was almost like seeing somebody brain decay right in front of your face, and then trying to make sure he says the most political things, but they wasn't political things, or try to say the most smartest thing, but they wasn't the most smartest things. And the thing that he tried to stay away from was race, but he kept bringing it back to race. So yeah, that's some bullshit. I'm just like, damn, what time is it? It's like 7:05. What comes on today? I'm like, yo, are we watching the downfall of Kanye West, or do you think this is going to pull him up there? I thought that Jim said that he also wanted to run for president. Yeah, he said he's going to run for president too. He said he can be president one day. He can be president of America. Basically, I'm going off of what Trump being president and some of the things that Trump said, that you could do anything in this world, whatever, that, one day that he could be president. If Trump can be president, Kanye West can be president. If, a lot of people saying that this is not the real Kanye West. I'm like, yo, but you know what? At the end of the day, Kanye West is going to be fine. His family's going to be great. He's going to have millions and millions of acres of land. He's going to continue to make billions and millions of dollars. And he's going to continue to do what he does. Like, he'll be fine. He'll be all set. But it's just like, you give these people a platform and they turn around and they shit on you after they get their platform and they get what they want. First is Black power, this and that. I love this, I love that. But then, I don't want to talk about race. But yeah, you use your race to get all the way up to the top, that this is what happened. I'm this, I'm that. And then all of a sudden, especially when he was on TMZ, he was like, I don't want to be considered a rapper. I don't want to be considered an artist. I don't want to be considered part of the Black community, but I am kind of, I'm always going to represent that, but I want that to be the everything. But at one point, that's all you stood on. And for you to say that and then go behind and support somebody like Donald Trump and try to sway people to go that route. It's okay for you to have your personal opinions. It's okay for you to choose Donald Trump. It's okay for you to vote for him. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. I don't give a shit who you vote for. But when you try to sway people and move them towards your way, when you have a platform like that, is the real messed up part, because there's already a lot of people out here that are lost and don't have people around them to say, hey, listen, this is for antics. This guy might have some problems. Well, this guy's made it, so he's conforming to the people that are giving him what he wants, the validation, giving him the factories that he wants to build stuff, to have stuff, to be in the fashion world, to be idolized. People, he wants to be the names of the big names. So, and then people will probably think, and then they don't have people to tell him that he's not the same person he used to be. Everybody grows. Nobody stays the same. Nobody has the same ideas. Nobody has the same thoughts. But you don't go from you just don't go to extreme. Like, say, if I'm okay, I eat meat, but now I'm going to be a cannabis. I'm going to be, he just went way off the deep end. And I don't think, like, anybody that is conscious of what he's really trying to do, he is trying to send the message that he did, touch on, and the Charlemagne the interview with, he did touch on how difficult and how the industry closed ranks on you, and they'll do things like that to keep you out. How where they don't want to open up the fashion world to him, or him to have even a part. He had to come in there and kick the door down, fight. You know, they took the people that he used to work with away from him, and they gave them money, and they left him all alone. He did bring that out. You know, he did. So he did touch on that. Did touch on Jay-Z album about he's given a little bit of secrets, but he didn't give all the secrets. Like there's secret, there's code, and yeah, there's codes and there's secrets and everything. Like there's codes for, like, you know, if you want to do constructions, there's codes. If you want to buy property, you want to buy houses, there's codes when you want to fix cars or buy cars. There's codes when you go to the bank. Yes, there's codes. But what he's saying, it was share him the code. Now he finally got some of the code, but he's not willing to share all the code too as well. But one code that he wants to share is that there's love. Tell that to the person. So it's interesting. And I'm probably going to debate about this later on too, because I was talking about it earlier, like debating on this interview, because, you know, I tried to look at it in an open mind, not to look at him as cooning and being a coon or whatever, because that's my foresight is like, okay, Kanye West is cooning. But just because you vote for Donald Trump or just because you like this person doesn't mean you're a coon. Like, I'm not going to say, but if I know I can't have a friend that hates, you know, I have a friend that, you know, they hate this, they hate, you know, let me get an example. I have a friend that hates a certain amount of people. Like I have a friend that hates, like, say, Asian people. I have like, say, you know, that hates Asian people, but my friend loves Black people. Or you know, so does that make my friend right because they hate Asian people, but they love Black people? So if I agree with my friend, does that mean I hate Asian people too as well and love Black people? Or do I get to pick between what I'm going to follow from a person and say, okay, you know, I'm going to take the good that you say from here and then move forward with that? I don't know, like hatred and all that other bullshit. None of that is cool. None of that's good, because hatred, you know, kills you and destroys you, and then you give power to the people. You give power to the masses of whoever wants to keep you in control. But to agree to have that platform that Kanye West has and support Trump is devastating. But, you know, Kanye West also said he was devastated. It's always about Kanye West that he was devastated, you know, that Barack Obama turned his back on him. That he never apologized, he never called him, he never talked to him. Like, you know, but when he first started running for president, you know, Barack came to his house, met his mom, everything was cool. Barack Obama, former president, and all this other good stuff. But then, you know, for him to just call him, see the video of him calling him out for what he did to Taylor Swift and never having to talk to him about it and never even bringing it up. And then he said he did, you know, like a show, a charity event. And then when it was, everybody spoke, but when it was time for Kanye West to speak, you know, Obama got up and walked away. So now him getting the embrace by Donald Trump, but he said in the future, he wanted to bring up with Chicago gun violence or changing Chicago and all this other stuff. But that's after, but when he did this interview, that was like, it's all rhetoric. Because he said he wants to bring that up to Donald Trump, but yet he don't want to talk about race. He don't want to talk about this. He don't want to be conformed. He doesn't want to be in a certain category with anything or really supporting one thing. So it just, I don't know. The shit was crazy. Like, and then for him to go on TMZ and act the way that he did, he was talking about, you know, it's okay. It's okay to admit, and it's important for people to say, okay, yes, I was using heroin, I was using opiates, and then I was taking these drugs, I was on these drugs. I was like, okay. But then to get up and just started just yelling and screaming and talking about slavery, I was like, this dude is off his rockers. I don't even know, y'all. I think it's disappointing for me because I really enjoyed a lot of his past albums, and a lot of his past albums were like, damn, on point, and it was really good music, and I can remember the emotion that that excited me. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm still kind of like confused about the situation, but you know what? Have you watched Southern Charm? Southern Charm, no, New Orleans. What do you guys think about that? Because I gotta take my mind off of Kanye West for a minute. Shit. I was just like, let me, like, he's trending too. I was like, damn, Kanye, like, damn. Southern Charm, New Orleans. I don't know. Oh. Yep. You're right, Michelle. Hey, Michelle. For real, like, yeah. I was like, I was following along with the interview for a little bit, but then he started just going, a conscious mind couldn't, you can just know that he was just, it wasn't coherent. And what he was trying to connect things, but, you know, like the code and being locked out, people not, you know, letting you into the fashion world. Yeah, you get it. You understand that. But everything else is just like, he said some more stuff. What else did he say? Yeah, and he talks about security. And what did he say? What did he say about Travis Scott? He said something about Travis Scott and Little Uzi. Oh, okay. So, like he said, he didn't want to talk about race, but he said, you know what? When he goes to the business, when he goes to, like, you know, Harvard Business School, all these other business schools, Blase and the third, the people that in the office don't look like Travis Scott, a Little Uzi, but they're able to, you know, 360 deals. And he also said a 360 deal is just like slavery. So Kanye West needs to, yeah. But did you see him on TMZ? Yo, we gotta watch that. Yo, he went, like, it seemed like two different people. Like, did they give him, was that set up for Harvey to embrace Kanye and talk all these wonderful things about Kanye West, and then boom, you know, next thing you know, Kanye West is on, you know, TMZ, and he's going Balook. He's going crazy. He's talking about slavery was a choice, you know. But he did also say that he wants to use a different word, what's called imprisonment, being in prison. In prison and slavery is almost the same thing. But only thing is your body is free. Like, you're not locked up inside of a cell, but you're locked up inside your community. You're locked up inside the tortures and the dangers that you have to deal with every day. I watched it all. And yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do it again. I don't know if I'm going to do another review on that. The person that, what's his name? Jeff. I feel so bad for Jeff. And yeah, it's not that interesting. But I don't know if it's going to get better. I don't know what's going on with Southern Charm, New Orleans. It seems like it should be more interesting, should be more fun, should be a lot more going on, but it doesn't seem like it at all. I guess we don't know the characters, but they should get right into the drama and let us know and then from there we figure it out. I guess, you know, you're right. It's not that interesting at all. It's not. But, you know, Jeff running through the bushes Sunday, that shit was funny. That was real funny. Him running through the bushes, that was real funny. So anyways, I'm gonna sign off on this. I'm probably gonna come back with some more Kanye West stuff because, like, I'm still have to go. I have to watch the interview again. I'm gonna have to watch the interview again and then watch the TMZ thing again, just to make sure that I'm getting that I'm understanding what's going on. And we got to have some debates because it's probably not even really that serious. I'm just probably listening to a guy that's under tremendous amount of pressure to be something that he's not, order to get what he wants in life. And that's the generational wealth that he can pass down to his kids. Yes, watch the interview and tell me, like, if you read the comments under it, it's back and forth, but it was like, I don't know. It wasn't like he was saying anything that was new, anything that was genuine. Like, we all know that a lot of people could be locked out certain industries. And just like I was talking about the hair industry, like, it's so long ago, so many of us couldn't even get into the industry until like we got Instagram, Twitter, and all this other stuff, because you was locked out having a factory, locked out with getting the hair, locked out against, you know, the hair shows and stuff like that. So like he's talking about the fashion world, him being locked out, but how he got in and him getting there. It was just like, yeah, watch the interview. I'm gonna sign off on this because yo, your boy not pissed me off. I think I was more watching how shit can really change a person. I know we all change. I know we never stay the same. I know things happen in our lives that make us change, but it make us more smarter, make us more wiser, and to make better decisions and not to do the same shit over and over again and make these mistakes. But it seems like you're not watching that transition of him changing. You're not watching that. You're just watching. It was so hard for me to do this, to get is like Kanye West is saying, it's so hard for me to get into this world, so hard for me to get accepted and get validated by all these wealthy people, and having the opportunity and all this other stuff. I don't want to ever go back to fighting for an opportunity or being allowed. Yes, it is. It's all the above. It's all the above. But he did mention his mother. He said his mother was always there to protect him and help him, and he was always supposed to be the superhero, and he was never supposed to get pimped, because Kanye West says he's been pimped. He said he's been manipulated. I got to watch the interview, so when you come back, I will be able to put more hints and put it into the conversation. Yeah, help me out, because it was crazy. But he did mention his mother. And he was saying that his mother is, you know, the only person that protected him and kept him grounded and real. And she always, you know, built him up to be that superhero, that he can't be pimped. He can't be manipulated. And this can't happen to him. So he feels like he was pimped. He feel like he was manipulated and all this other stuff. But does he feel like he's being pimped now? Like, I feel like he's being pimped. But I feel like he's in charge of the pimping now. Like, he's pimping himself. Instead of having like machines around him pimping him, he's pimping himself. He's pimping the image that he wants out there. And now instead of him being manipulated, because he said he's been manipulated and all this other stuff, and his mother told him not to be that way. I think now he's moved up to stop. He's not being manipulated anymore, but now he's doing a manipulation. So it's even bigger for him. So it's not about the money. It's not about the race. It's about manipulating people to go towards his rhetoric and believe that he is all this in one, that he is God, that he is genius, and what he's saying is gold, it's fact, it's everything. But he wants you to choose to be manipulated by him. So now I think he has the big boy shoes on now, where he was pimped. Now he's doing the pimping. And now that he was manipulating, he's manipulating now, but he's manipulating with his thoughts and what he wants. Whether he's being controlled by somebody, who knows who's controlling him to do it, or is he controlling, or this is what he always wanted to do. It's just crazy. So yeah, let me sign off. I got to get something to eat, because I got to watch the interview. It could be a stunt to sell more records and his clothing line. And that's true. But if the Yeezys are, okay, you know what? You're right about that, Michelle, because you know what? If a person that is a millionaire, what do they want to be? Another millionaire? But I'm thinking, okay, listen, you know, he said he's made $1 billion off of the Yeezys. What else do you need to be a billionaire? There's very few billionaires, and he's going to be a billionaire, or he's edging towards that. But it makes sense. If you want more money, you want more money, more money. And he said he wants to build this community, and he's afraid that, you know, he might get killed or something like that, because he wants to build his own community. So we'll see let's see if Kanye builds his own community. Let's see that happening. Like, is it going to be a cult? What is it going to be? Let's see. I think he may feel that he has the power now, but he still seems powerless at the same damn time, because he got to go back and eat all his words to conform to society, the dominant society that's going to support him. All right. Peace, one love to all my peeps and my peoples. You know, look at me talking about Kanye West rambling. Look at me, I'm rambling about his interview. Anyways, thanks for your support. I really do appreciate it. You guys are great. All right, signing off. Thank you. Thank you. Peace, one love, power, support, knowledge, wisdom to all my peeps and my peoples. Have protection, have blessing, have wealth, have health, and have happiness, and be true to who you are. Peace, one love. See you later too. Peace.